Okay, now our stone is dry. My next and really important step here is to sprinkle some of this rosin dust onto the stone. And this is going to help not only stabilize the image, but also prevent any movement of that ink into an area where it's not supposed to be. So rosin first, and next either talc or French chalk. This happens to be chalk. All right. Our next step is to mix up our etch. So we're going to use gum arabic. I'm just going to mix up 1 ounce, which I'll measure on this graduated cylinder. We're then going to be adding nitric acid to it. So this you do not want to get on your skin. You want to be really careful with this step. I'm going to pour the gum arabic into this container I'm going to use to mix the actual etch solution. And then double check your dropper bottle. You want to make sure that the nozzle is in line with those little flanges on the neck of the bottle. So line up the nozzle with these little bumps. And if you're gentle with it, you gently tilt it, acid will go just a little bit past that stopper and allow us to count drops of acid as it comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I used a 5-drop etch on the first etch, so that's exactly what I'm doing here. Just using a wooden stick to stir that up. Just pour that right on here. You may be able to see some bubbles happening as the etch does its thing. And you can use a larger brush than this. I just kind of like this small one, but you could use a larger one. And the idea is just to kind of keep the etch solution moving on your image area for roughly a minute, 60 seconds. Then we'll wipe off the excess and buff it down and let it rest. And it'll need at least an hour after its second etch to rest. Once we've completed that hour of waiting time, we can then ink up and start printing the addition on the press. So the etch happens in about a minute. After that time, it kind of stops having the acidic effect. But what's happening is happening on like a sub-microscopic level. You won't really be able to see it with the naked eye, and you certainly can't feel it by hand. You won't be able to touch it and feel it. All right, that should be about a minute, I think. Just gonna grab a wiping cloth. So I'm going to get up my excess, kind of blot it, push it off, and then once that's done, the expression that the lithographers use is to buff it down tight. So we're going to get a nice smooth surface here. Gum arabic is going to turn kind of hard. And that will have the correct effect on our image. So the next thing we do should be proof it to see if it's printing the right way, and then we'll be able to move on to actually printing.